All right, y'all. Listen, I know you know the new Avatar show, the new series, I should say, has been announced. Okay? Obviously, this isn't it, but the new show is called Seven Havens. That's the name of it. And recently, if you didn't know, it's a kind of a funny thing. They accidentally, what's the term? Not patent, but when they register a show and all that, they accidentally did the wrong name. I don't know who they sent in there to do it, but he accidentally wrote down Seven Heavens, and they had to switch the name and change it and scrap it, redo the thing or whatever. And that's kind of funny. But this show is coming out. The character you see on the right is the concept of the new Avatar. Both of these people, I don't know who the person on the left, but both of these people in this art style right here, these are concept designs, okay? It's not to say that we don't know what they're going to look like exactly, but this is most likely what they're going to, look like. They're going to look like something like this. It's going to be within this realm, okay? So if I go on a little bit and show you these pictures right here, you can see a further look or a closer look at the same concept. I don't know who drew these. I don't know if these are official, but these are the concept arts that we have. These are the only visuals that we have on the characters so far. But I'm here to say, I guess you already know the synopsis and everything. I don't know if you do or not. If you don't know what the show is about, I can tell you right now, because we know how Korra is not a fan favorite avatar. Let me just get this part out the way. We already know Korra is not the fan favorite avatar. We already know Aang is, loved in a lot of ways. We know a lot of people love Korra too, and they claim, a lot of people who don't like Korra just hate her because they love Aang so much. I was never a fan of the switching sides and choosing sides, because I feel like I'm just an Avatar fan. It's the same thing with anime. People got to pick a side. Like, they got to be a Dragon Ball fan or a Bleach fan. Bro, I watched both of them growing up. I like them both. Certain things I like about this one or whatever. It might vary, but I like them both at the end of the day. Same thing for this. I like them both at the end of the day. Maybe not their character specifically, because I'm talking about both series. Both series, I like them both at the end of the day. Korra's character, I don't like her character as much as Aang's, but characters in her show, I definitely like. Okay, and things about her show, certain things about her show, I like. I know a lot of people hate Korra and the show. So when I say Korra from now on, just know I'm speaking of the show. Okay, so I know a lot of people hate Korra, and a lot of people like The Last Airbender way more. But I feel like going in from watching The Last Airbender and going into Korra as a fan of Avatar, I didn't go in thinking the show was going to be bad. I didn't go in with low expectations. I went in knowing and thinking that, I'm going to be watching Avatar. I didn't care Korra was a female. I know a lot of people didn't care back then either. That was actually kind of hype, okay, in certain ways. But I didn't mind anything about the new show when it first came out. Actually, the first season was really, really solid. It was really good. You could tell that they didn't plan on making any more, but the demand and the popularity made us, it resulted in 3 more seasons of Korra. And that's where it started getting sloppy somewhere along the lines there. But we're not going to talk about all that. We're not here for that, okay? The new Avatar. I only said that to say this, right? Seven Havens is set in a world shattered by a devastating cataclysm. A young earthbender discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra. Let me stop right there. Actually, let me keep reading. But in this dangerous era, that title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. Hunted by both human and spirit enemies, she and her long-lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins and save the Seven Havens before civilization's last strongholds collapse. Okay? I was going to stop here because this part right here, after Korra, they didn't mention specifically the cataclysm, the shattered, devastating cataclysm that devastated everybody was caused by Korra, okay? Or something that she did, it was a result of her actions or something. That's why in this new world, the new Avatar, they're hunted by, or at least their twin and the new Avatar, right? Or because like they're together. They might not both be the Avatar together. We got to find that out. We know, or we heard, the only one of them is the Avatar. That's what we're led on to believe, right? So maybe they're gonna incorporate Vatu and Rava. And speaking of Vatu and Rava, I know there's a lot of stuff around them, right? Because nobody really likes Vatu and Rava, if you think about it. Like, their existence was pretty cool as a concept for the Avatar spirit connection and all that sort of stuff, right? But I don't think they ever should have started existing as like they shouldn't have been important in the modern era into the story in the extent that they were. For the origins of the first Avatar, that's fine. But then them connecting that to what's going on now, and Korra dealing with the spirit and Vatu, they didn't have to have all of that happen, okay? Because it kind of makes the Avatar's duty, and I've seen other people say this too, but it's like, yeah, okay, just good versus evil. And I never really got that first, but then it started settling in on me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I see what you mean, because it's not like, I don't know, it's like the potential of an Avatar. I don't even want to get into that, okay? But I do know that a good thing that could come from the fact that these two spirits exist is this one right here, because she fought her uncle. Remember, her uncle transformed into like a giant avatar, and he was the Avatar basically because he had the same type of spirit that Korra and all the other avatars had inside of them, but he was like the dark one, right? So maybe the other Avatar could have this inside of them. Would that mean they have to be evil inherently? I don't know, but we're gonna have to find out. And mind you, this is something they didn't really specifically say, but long ago, the concept or idea behind if there was ever going to be another Avatar series later on, it would be set later into the future. I don't know how far this one is set into the future, but that was the concept and idea before with a potential future another Avatar series. So they would be using how bending in the world progresses so far. The idea would be that later on they will be using energy bending, okay? And then, all that type of stuff that's done with energy bending and all of that will come into play in some sort of way or shape or form. Like maybe they're going to be fighting, well, not just with the elements, but, they would have been shooting like key attacks, that type of idea. But we never got to see that. Maybe we might see that in this one, okay? We don't know. So a part of the world, these 7 havens that everybody's broken up into. That's what the series is named for, 7 havens. They're literally 7 safe havens that people live in away from the world. And I guess my idea, the way it sounds in my head when I hear it, it sounds like they're trying to do something similar to Avatar 1's time, right? So it's similar to Avatar 1's time, whereas him and his people, they all lived on top of the giant sea lion turtles, right? Whatever you want to call them. So they lived on top of the lion turtles, and every land in between where they were, they're like in isolated bubbles, separated from other societies, because they're in their own safe havens on top of the lion turtles. And all the lands, which will be the outside world to them, basically it was like some sort of badlands, okay? It's similar to like a badlands in the sense that they would how do I say it? In the sense that like everything in between each of the lion turtles was just owned by the monsters and the evil spirits or whatever. So it was in a safe place. Maybe there's some humans out there, but they would die or be like strugglers or bandits, wanderers. So I'm thinking with the safe havens, everybody, is living like in their own societies, and there's no more nations. So in each safe haven, it might be quite literally just the humanity just struggling, living together. It's gonna be firebenders, earthbenders, all this and all that. Everybody's gonna be in there, okay? Metal benders, lava benders probably, because this is further in the future. I would assume there will be more lava benders, because bending always progresses forward, right? So there will probably be more lava benders. I hope we see more types of bending, okay? Because people just started learning to express and use every layer of bending available, or however you want to say that, right? So outside of that, I don't know. The story sounds kind of like iffy in some areas. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially with the fact that the Avatar connection is gone. Now, they could potentially have the Avatar try to restore the connection and fix that whole problem that happened in the previous thing that the world created with his writing. Because like now the new Avatar's not gonna have any of these people in the connection. That's kind of bad. It's kind of whack to me. If you ask me, that's kind of whack. I don't like that. All these Avatars, we could have went past these three and seen more of these back here. I don't even see Kill. Oh yeah, Kill. I'm tripping. Kyoshi right here. But we could have seen more of them. Like they obviously drew random different designs of firebenders. Giant diesel airbender, okay? How was he airbending? Like, I want to see some more stuff, man. I want to see some more stuff, okay? This dude looked like Sokka from the Water Tribe, but he's an Avatar. We could have seen it all. But hopefully it's not too late. That the new Avatar could restore the connection, possibly. That is a possibility. We have to see that come out into fruition or into the light or whatever you want to say, right? So we know it's going to be, right here it says 2 seasons, 13 episodes each. Okay. The plot, we already know the plot. After the events of Korra. Okay, and then, the Red Lotus, right? The actions of the Red Lotus. So the Red Lotus, apparently, this hasn't been completely confirmed. This part about the twins has been somewhat of the thing I'm about to say right now is like a rumor, okay? It's like a rumor, or it was a leak. It was a leak, and all the leaks so far have been true. So this leak is probably true too, right? Whereas like the 2 twins, one of them was being raised by the White Lotus. The other one was being raised by the Red Lotus. Or at least they both each individually have some sort of involvement with those, with the respective lotuses, right? So I don't know if that's going to be a thing, because the Red Lotus, they do matter to what the hell's going on to some extent. I got some of that cut out right here. I wish I didn't cut the rest out. But yes, the actions of the Red Lotus. So they're there too, and they probably did something because they want to like get the Vatu spirit. After they found out there's an evil Avatar spirit, they're probably trying to put that into somebody and create their own Avatar. It could be anything. That could be a hot plot right there, or something like, not hot, but that concept could create something hot. But I don't know if they're gonna make it. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and slander them. They pretty good at what they do, but I just know I don't know. It feels like they lost the Avatar touch. Like they're trying to go too far in different directions and not stay grounded and do what they were doing in the past. Stay themselves. But I digress. Look at this, right? More concept art. We already saw this earlier. This is what a lot of people think. Well, outside of Korra being there, the whole idea of the light and the dark, a lot of people don't want that. I wouldn't exactly want it if it was super simple. The idea could be okay, but if it's just harping on Vatu and Rava, we need to just do away with that. Unless they're twins, so that the idea of an avatar spirit now is two halves, and it doesn't exactly have to be dark and light, but they're both avatars, or they both can bend the four elements because they're twins. And then because they both died, now two avatars are always born in somewhere. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but we just have to see what they're gonna do, man. I know this video feels kind of rantish at this point, but yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. My allergies are killing me. Okay, my mouth is getting dry. Look at the crew. I'll have a video talking about this soon. Okay, the show. This is not official art, by the way, but the series, it's going to be a movie coming out, with the older Aang and crew. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that soon. Okay, I got to make a Devil May Cry video. Little side note. But yeah, this is another concept art, because the girl is supposed to have a pet. Every avatar is gonna have like an animal sidekick companion with them of some sort. I hope that's that's a cool thing. Maybe if they even go back into the past avatars, they can mention that one of the past ones had a little pet or something. That'd be like a cool little thing. And this person obviously right here is like some, I don't know how official this is, but that's White Lotus, right? Like I said, she's raised or has connections with the White Lotus. I'm assuming that right here, what this says, I'm assuming that they're both hunted, and she and her long lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins. That doesn't mean that doesn't have to mean they're doing that together. Okay, they could have been growing up separate. I hope they're growing up separate, and it's a whole story, and we're following two separate characters. I mean, last time we seen that was Star Wars Acolytes. That shit did not hit hard for me. Okay, this sounds like the type of concept, the idea that's doing. I don't know if y'all know what that is. It was a Star Wars show that came out like not too long ago, like this year. That shit was trash. They don't need to copy any ideas, any concepts from that. None of that. We don't need that. But yeah, so yeah. I don't know, the idea looks sweet. Airbender in the White Lotus. Maybe he's a descendant of Tenzin's daughter or son. I don't know. It's not Milo grown up. We know that. It can't be Milo. So, in the picture, it's already this bad quality, okay? I don't think a better one exists. But like I said, there's nothing else really left to say. I hope that maybe the Avatar connection could be restored. Maybe there is a dark Avatar. I don't know. I don't know how well, like why, I don't know, like her being a paraplegic, why are they gonna like just try to write this a super, like I don't know how they're gonna write this. When I see signs of that, it's not like anything against a story with somebody with a disability like that, right? But it's the idea of how people nowadays will put that in their story as a crutch, or they don't even realize, but they end up so focused on that they let everything else slip through their fingers because they're so focused on that one thing. And it's like, well, bro, you didn't need this part of the character to make them interesting, or whatever else it was you were trying to go for that. Maybe you just wanted to represent, the people like that. Okay, that's fine. But I don't know, you can still make a good story though with it. Don't waste that shit. Let's see how this goes, man. I don't know. If you fuck with the video, do what you gotta do. If you don't fuck with the video, do what you gotta do. I'm out.